There's a few minutes until like that thing loads up, and why not? I never get to say it because I'm always like, well, it doesn't really fit into anything, and it doesn't. But I never have said this, and with all the videos I put out, like, why don't I say this even to you guys? You know, this thing about like I say, well, geez, a lot of people. I'm always the word liberal, like like there's the word liberal. I mention it all the time, like it's this word, okay. And the thing is, it's used by lots of different people, the same way to word, like okay. But here's the thing, like the here's the thing though. A lot of I don't. People mean different things by it. And the thing is, yeah, what I'm talking about is the class. It's like the social science crowd that claims to be liberal, doing this activity they're doing, which is what LaRouche says is the systematic denial of the existence of an objective reality. I agree with that, but that's a negative. Okay, what it is like I'm saying, like when I got a chance to read, like, so who there is such a thing as like liberalism because it has its own like philosopher apparently. And the thing is, like, one of the things that I know problem that they removed me from my graduate school, I did get a chance to read this person. I mean, so I'm just saying, I just want to say something about my experience of reading. There is a person who was like an academic, I guess, in like the, I don't know, 70s or something. I don't know, or was earlier. I don't know where he came from, but he wrote like these texts that are considered the foundational, like, sort of text on liberalism. Like, this is what it is. And I mean, well, first of all, I sort of thought I put on my Facebook, just kind of a con artist in the back with a turtleneck and a pipe or something. But like, the thing is, I did read it, and the thing is, it's really hard to follow and everything. But I mean, a lot of what got me like I was like annoying. The professor like doesn't, they want to like, and I don't know what he wants to do, but they wouldn't like Again, it's this thing. If you pass over a sentence or a word that doesn't make any sense, I mean, you have to stop. I mean, you can't just keep reading, And the thing is, like, this, like, his name is John Rawls, and I'm saying, I asked in the graduate school, so wait a minute, wait. So what does it actually mean? The institutional structures of a society should be designed to benefit the least advantaged. I don't even know what that means, but saying about the institutional structures of a society, if they should be designed anyway, would be to benefit the whole. That was like logical, but what does it even mean actually? Should be the institutional structures designed to benefit the least advantaged. I don't even know what that means. I mean, I actually don't know what that means. And then when we got to the part about like what's called distributive justice. And I said, like, distribute, and in the original position. And I said, wait a minute, you mean like if we went to another planet and like started from scratch, like what would be fair? Like, wait, that does, I mean, is that for real? Like, that we're talking that way? Like, what if we all just landed on another planet and we're just got as a group? We're like, now, what would be fair to like divide up the stuff we found here? I mean, is that really like? Is there even a point in thinking like that? I mean, it was stuff like that. But then the one that I realized why people like me who read Schmidt said, oh, wait a minute, this would explain a lot of this is part of it. The belief that any difference between people's like a position on things or a perception of things, okay, can eventually build itself into a consensus through constant dialogue. That is, like, constant talking back and forth will ultimately, no matter how long and confabulated, bring everyone into consensus. I asked him, I said, Schmidt. No. We know from the experience of being in reality. But second of all, you could read Schmidt or whatever. No, but first of all, the good example would be in terms of different countries and stuff. Very often, you're having a difference about reality itself, depending on where you're looking from and what your position is in it. I mean, you're having a difference about reality itself that can never be resolved. Wait. The philosophy that if you just keep talking, that any, it's also assuming that everyone has like sort of equal, like that you're dealing with your equals at all times in all situations, like, but that you can simply, and that nations too can do that, like if they just keep negotiating and talking, that everything will ultimately end with consensus, even though there's no evidence that it could exist, that exists in reality, or that that's how reality functions. And then you get to the part where you start to realize, like, oh, wait a minute, this is premised on the idea that human nature is basically good, and that within human nature is the ability to like work together, like that human nature is basically benevolent and good. Wait. This entire thing is kind of like, and then you look at the back of the book, and maybe several texts, but right, he's got a turtleneck and a pipe, and, oh no, he has his glasses in his mouth, I said, is this a joke, or is it, but no, this is the text of, like, this is the, like, to call him a philosopher, you'd think of, like, he was like, I don't know. He's called John Rawls. By the way, not to mention the writing itself was sort of like confabulated and weird and hard to follow. I talked it into a tape recorder and listened to it back to see if I could make heads or tails of what he was saying. But no, like there is such a thing called liberalism. It's as though he wasn't taking it that seriously when he wrote it, but he wanted to write like the text of liberalism, since it's a sort of, it is like, I guess, like an attitude or something, but it was filled with these things that I said, is this it? But people who use the word mean it a bunch of different ways. Most of the times they don't mean the left. Even the left would agree with that. Anyone on the left would agree that liberalism isn't the left, but like, right, to read these books by this John Rawls, that's considered by these sort of I don't know, he's considered the philosopher of liberalism, and it's filled with things like that. I just wanted to say something about it. I never do.